Good morning, welcome back to Planet Doug. I'm looking out the window here from the Kojoy Hotel and it looks like a little bit of a gloomy sky out there. It was raining for much of last night, but we'll see how the weather turns out. Just standing in the hallway up on the fourth floor, or floor 3A as they call it, and I noticed that they had put the alcove back together. All of this furniture was pushed to the side when they were doing the refurbishing, but they brought it all back out again. Nice little seating area here, which is kind of nice. Because they have the water dispenser right here. So you could make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, a couple of chairs over there opposite the elevator. Some drums, you could wake some people up on this floor if you wanted to. And the chairs, as I said, and then some vintage decor. It's quite a collection here. The old rotary phone, iron, and a straw hat. Yeah, quite nice. And here's the scene outside the Kojoy. Not actually raining, it just sort of feels like it's raining because you still have the water dripping off all the buildings and the trees. I guess it's drizzling a little bit. You can see it in the puddle there. And I'm on my way to the Pavilion shopping mall, to the Starbucks there. And I'm meeting Jamie and I'm meeting another YouTuber. I mentioned him in another video, I think. Bill Price. I was going to say Peter Price for some reason, but I think his name is Bill Price. But his channel is called International Big Shot. And I've watched a few of his videos since I found out about him. Oh, got a green light. Better take advantage of it while it's here. And International Big Shot seems to be a man after my own heart. Does a lot of walking around Kuala Lumpur. Has a real history with this city, I believe. Lived here for a long time, lived and worked here. But I don't exactly know what he's been doing here. I don't know anything about him other than he has a YouTube channel and he likes to go for long walks and gets up very early in the morning. But Jamie just happened to run into him at New Central Mall one day, and Jamie recognized him from his YouTube videos, stopped him and said hello, and Jamie put all three of us together. So the three of us are meeting for coffee this morning at Starbucks. I've never been to this Starbucks before. I don't even know where it is. Third floor, I think, but I'm sure I can track it down. There's the location of my old home, Morrow House. I was here yesterday just cleaning up my bike. I didn't do a lot of work on the bike. I just washed it down, took off all the dust and the dirt as much as I could. Oiled the chain and various bits and pieces that needed some lubrication. And the one thing I did, I was worried about, I'd loosened the pedals, because I have a history of going back to my bike after an extended period of time, and then you need to dismantle your bike to put it in a box for the airlines. And one thing you have to do in those situations is remove the pedals. And depending on the kind of bike you have, the era that it's from, getting those pedals off can be next to impossible if they've been on there for a while. Because the way the threads on the pedals work, as you're pedaling, it's moving in a tightening direction, the thread on the pedal. And if it gets a little bit rusty, a little bit of water gets in there and it seizes up, there you are the night before your flight and you're trying to box up your bike and those pedals are not coming off. I faced that a couple of times. So in this case, one of the very first thing I did was get my pedal wrench and see if I could remove the pedals. And luckily I could do it easily because I got smart over the years and I bought a modern set of pedals that has a new bolt mechanism that's easier to loosen. So I was able to, and then they were still in good condition. I'd made sure to grease them. The last time I put the bike away, I put a lot of grease in that thread, make sure that the next time I come back to the bike, I'm able to loosen the pedals easily. So that was all good. Remove the pedals, clean them all up, remove the old grease, re-grease them, put them back in. But that's pretty much all I did yesterday. And then I rode the bike over to Kojoy. It's not flooding or anything, but you can see how high the river level has come compared to previous days. Because it feels like it's higher to me with all the heavy rain that we had last night. The map of the MRT system. I'm here, past Arseni, and all I'm trying to do is go to Merdeka and then Bukit Bintang. So it's only 2 stops along the green line. Heads to Kajang and Damansara. Huh. I'm confused about the name of the line now, though, but that's no surprise. I'm always confused about the names of the lines here. They're just a mystery to me. I can never commit them to memory. And I'm pretty busy at the MRT this morning. A lot of people going to work. And I broke out one of my new masks from the new box. This particular brand is thicker than the brand I had before. I can feel it. The air is not passing through the mask as easily as it did with my other ones. Funny thing is that when I bought the box of masks, I was talking to Jamie about it, and then he reached into his pocket just to pull out his current mask. And, you know, it's sort of what happens over time. I mean, if you're not wearing a mask all the time, you only pull it out for certain places that you go to, and you don't wear a mask in between, then that mask, you continue to use the same one over and over, and you just sort of stuff it in your pocket like an old serviette or an old Kleenex, and it gets all balled up, you know. It gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. And the thing that he pulled out of his pocket says, yeah, this is my mask. It was just it's a horrible looking thing. And it's just weird that, you know, you're protecting your health in theory with this mask, and yet the mask itself it looked like sort of a petri dish. It could be growing all kinds of things in your pocket, you know. And so when I got my big box of 50 masks, and I just pulled out like 10 or 15 of them and put them in a little plastic bag and gave them to Jamie. It says, here, I think you need these. just to have a couple of new ones to replace that balled up mess, you know, that was in his pocket. So here's the system. Platform 1 is the one I want. Going to Bukit Bintang. Platform 2, train's going in the other direction. But yeah, I'm not used to seeing it this busy. I'm normally traveling around during the daytime, not quite this early in the MRT so far. So it's a lot of people here, more than I'm used to seeing. I think I can be forgiven for not figuring out the names of the lines, because when I was in the train, I was really looking hard for anything in any of the signage that told me the name of the line I was on, and I couldn't see it anywhere. It told me the station I was coming from, the station I was going to, and then in all the signs it tells you the terminal station for the train you're on, and it told me the names of all the other lines, but nowhere in any of the signs did it say the name of this line. And I've been looking at all the signs around me, and none of them actually tell me what line I'm currently on, unless I'm being a dummy again and I'm just missing it entirely. So actually I'm going to look at one of the signs here, see what exit I need to get to Pavilion. This is the neighborhood map. I can see where to go. This is kind of funny. I came out of the MRT station And this group of 3 cats were waiting here, and they all came rushing up to all the people exiting from the station. I think they're quite used to being fed. Being fed or getting some attention. I think they're just looking for food, and they can tell I don't have any food. I thought if I sat down, they would come over. Ugh. Anyway, it's pretty clear that I have no idea what I'm doing with this trip, because I thought I'd be coming out of this exit right into Pavilion, but I'm still half a kilometer away from the Pavilion Mall. Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time in Bukit Bintang, it seems, so I don't really know where I am. And that's where I want to go. So at least there's no way of getting completely lost. That's the Pavilion Tower. You can see the name Pavilion at the top, and down at the base you can see the mall there with the word Pavilion on it. And that's where the waterfall is. You see so many, you know, YouTube videos from YouTubers, and they always show that the fountain down there. And I think that's just down ahead of me. It's quite the intersection right here. You definitely feel like you're downtown. With all of the shopping malls and the buildings all around, all the advertisements, the flashing lights. Big crosswalk there that you know, crosses in the X pattern, all directions at once. Over there is the Fahrenheit 88 Mall. Beside it, Star Hill. And if I remember right, there's actually either a Leica. Yeah, it's like, I think it's a Leica dealer inside Star Hill. It's quite a luxury mall, I think, luxury brands. And then right ahead of me is Pavilion. The fountain is not operational this morning. And the Grand Millennium Hotel right here. Quite a fancy place, I imagine. Miserable morning though. This kind of drizzling rain really is not pleasant. I've already walked through several puddles, and my feet are squeaking, you know, squeaking against my sandals with every step. And the fountain, and if I remember right, it represents the 3 main peoples of Malaysia, the different cultures. Yes, the 3 bowls represent Malaysia's multiracial culture, living harmoniously in unity. It's interesting that they're referring to, of course, the Malay, the Chinese, and the Indian, but they don't actually name them. They just mention a multiracial culture. Very wise, because of course, if you name the 3 main ones, you're kind of leaving out all the others. You know, the Bangladeshis that live here, the Pakistanis, you know, so you can just say multiracial society, and that includes everybody. So someone in their marketing department was thinking that day when they came up with that, just to avoid the problem. Apple advertisement. Yeah. Okay, let's dive in. Try to find a Starbucks. I don't even know if those doors are open. From a distance, they don't look open, but I see people going in over here. So I will follow the trail of ants, just like me. And if they're going in, chances are I can go in too. Okay. I'm pretty sure the Starbucks is here, so it makes sense. This is an open walkway, so maybe the mall itself, the doors are still locked, but this walkway is open. So, and I think Starbucks is somewhere around here. As I've commented on in the past, when you do walk around Kuala Lumpur, you have the feeling that you're existing under the watchful gaze of security. There's a lot of security here. So especially if you're walking around with the camera, you feel a little bit like you're doing something that security would not be thrilled about in general. You know, worldwide, security and cameras don't go hand in hand. And so as you're walking around with the camera, and every time you stop to get your bearing, you can feel the eyes on you, and you look around, and in every direction, like here, for example, in this area, you'll see like 4 or 5 security guys, you know, just stationed in different places all around you, outside the hotel, outside the shopping mall, at every door, at every entrance, inside the MRT, everywhere. So you're always aware of them. All right, time for a map check. I was going to say, according to my map, I walked right by it. And I thought, well, I couldn't possibly have walked by it because it's on level 3, which is up above me, right? Because I'm on the ground. Turns out this is level 3. I'm already on level 3, even though I'm at ground level. And I did walk right by it. There it is. Yeah, right behind me. And to be honest, I think I'm just going to go in and order a coffee and yeah, wait for Jamie and the international big shot to show up, Bill Price, and then when they come, I'll order a second one if my first one is finished. And I want to go inside where hopefully it's air conditioned. So yeah, they have a lot of seating here on the outside, but it's pretty hot and muggy for my tastes. So I'm going to sit inside. We'll see where my guys will end up wanting to sit. Just from a physical environment point of view, this is not my favorite Starbucks so far. You know, most of the seating is outside, and that's just too hot and noisy for me. I want to sit inside if I'm going to be sitting, you know, relaxing with a cup of coffee. I want to sit indoors where it's cool and dry and quiet. And it's really crowded around the counter. There's like no space around the counter at all, very narrow passageway, and you can't really get past anyone. And you can't, from here, you can't see the, you know, where your coffee might show up, you know, like when they shout out, Bob, you know, your coffee's ready. I can't see anything from over here. And even when I sat down here, I thought, oh, I'll sit against the wall, but they have this weird lower back cushion, and then you just sort of flop all the way over. It's like, I guess if you want to lounge with your elbows splayed, but it's just not comfortable here at all. So this is not my future Starbucks. But it all comes down to the coffee, right? That's why you're here. Let's give this a try. Nice. It's so nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh, wow, that is nice. I think my appreciation for the flavor of coffee might have something to do with the time of day. For example, like this is first thing in the morning, you know, it's not even 8:30 yet, and I haven't tasted anything. I had a cup of coffee this morning at about 2 a.m. I think. I just woke up and I got up and I was editing a video and I had a cup of coffee, instant coffee, but that was the last time I had a coffee. So it's sort of like my palate is fresh first thing in the morning, so I really taste the coffee. Yeah, that's so nice. Could be that other times I've had a Starbucks later in the day and it tasted the same as this, but maybe the timing wasn't quite right to really you know, appreciate it. Oh, there's Jamie. So everybody is here now. Jamie is here, Bill is here, and the discussion is still ongoing about where we're going to end up sitting. Jamie says we share a lot of tendencies, and one of his is he really likes a good chair. So I actually went outside and I sat in every type of chair that's out there. Well, I sat in 2 of them, and I didn't like either one. I found them kind of uncomfortable, both of them. So that's why I came back inside, and I'll let Jamie decide whether those are good chairs or not. Well, I didn't film any of the coffee with Bill and Jamie, but we had a really nice chat. Bill and I have a lot in common, both shooting YouTube videos, both going for long walks around Kuala Lumpur, both using a GoPro and a Rode Wireless Go microphone. So we had a lot of things that we could chat about and share our dreams for the perfect vlogging camera, all the features that these cameras are missing. But now, I mean, it's still very cloudy out there, kind of rainy, but Jamie and I have a plan. If you go on to International Big Shot, his channel, he has a video where he walks through a long series of tunnels that lead from here all the way to Kampong Bharu. And there's a new bridge there, the Saloma Bridge. And this bridge was under construction when I was in Kuala Lumpur last time. And I totally forgot about this bridge, but in Bill's video, he shows the bridge and it looks pretty amazing. And Jamie wanted to go for a walk, so the two of us are heading off on a walk. He's gonna show me the route because he recreated Bill's route through all the series of tunnels. That's gonna take us from here, basically from Pavilion all the way to this bridge, almost the whole way underground or through tunnels, things like that. So yeah, that's my small adventure right now. If you look at Google Maps and get walking directions, it's 1.8 kilometers from here. So it's not really that far, but we're gonna try and get there through the special tunnel route. We'll see what happens. So Jamie and I are on the way. Here's my walking partner beside me, getting his steps in, as he says. And it turns out that there are a series of signs we're following, and they keep telling you the direction to KLCC. So there's a series of walkways that get you all the way to KLCC, and at some point we're getting into a tunnel as well. But I didn't realize it was signposted, so we've been following signs like this one ahead of me. Because we're at an intersection, you could go that way. I don't know where that one goes, down to the street, I guess. But there are all these signs that say KLCC Park, so you just look for those and then you stay. It's good for a day like today because it's still pretty miserable out there, raining and wet. So now we're basically in a covered walkway the whole way to KLCC.
And it's so hot here as well.
Yeah, we get to stay out of the sun as well, which is nice. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm really interested in seeing this bridge, the Saloma Bridge, I think it's called. And Bill, in his video, he explained everything about it, but I've already forgotten. It was named after a famous Malaysian singer. I think in his video, I think he said it was an actor, but then he corrected himself in the text and said, no, it wasn't a singer. It was actually a famous Malaysian singer named Saloma, a woman, I believe.
I think is she buried in the cemetery that's right there?
Yeah, could be.
I think that was part of the story.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess the bridge is beautifully lit up at night, so that's a time to go, you know, to get some beautiful views. But I'm curious to see what it looks like in the day. I saw it when it was under construction, but I've never seen it completed. As I said, I forgot all about it. I didn't realize it was there until I saw Bill's video. It's funny, when I was watching Bill's video and I was talking about things that Bill and I had in common, and in his video he was talking about how he goes on these long walks and it's like he never sees any other people because it is not common for people here to walk. And again, I have that feeling right now because you and I are walking along and it's like this whole tunnel system is practically empty, you know, we're the only people here. Under maintenance, this escalator. So, down at the bottom, KLCC Park, Petronas Twin Towers, so that's where we're heading. And if I were on my own trying to recreate this, at this point I wouldn't know where to go. So now I have an expert to lead the way.
So, I can remember.
Yeah, I hope you can remember too.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, so we are, Aquaria.
If we go in here,
Have you been inside the aquarium here?
Yes, my daughter and I came to the aquarium a couple of years ago. Very nice.
Yeah?
I like that stuff, man.
I love stuff like that. I don't know why I haven't done it, to be honest. When I was in Kuala Lumpur, when I was here before, I was actively seeking out attractions. So when I went to the bird park and the insect park, butterfly park, Batu Caves, and I don't know how I never went to Aquaria. Feels like it's something I would have done, but I never did. We walked around this central circle here past Aquaria, which is right over there. That's the entrance to Aquaria. And Jamie's eagle eye spotted this sign, pedestrian tunnel to Surya KLCC. So that's where we want to go. And that's, oh, straight ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah. So now we're completely underground. I was just thinking that this tunnel looked different from when Bill was here because there are no paintings along the side, but maybe this is the part that he filmed. Maybe this is the more completed part. That's funny. It's actually giant advertisements for the Samsung Galaxy S22 as a photography tool, and I'm filming it with a GoPro. Ah, look at this. Yeah, the whole thing is an advertisement for Samsung. We just passed through a big section of the tunnel that was all devoted to motorsports, you know, high-speed motorcycle races of one type or another. You can hear the sound of the engines revving. It's kind of ironic in a way because we're underground in a tunnel to get away from the traffic, and there they pipe in the roar of engines. It's kind of funny.
That connection, but yeah.
Now we're entering the mall, like the KLCC mall. Oh, yeah, Surya KLCC. So I think we've come to the end of any of the tunnel portion, because actually the tunnel ends here at Surya KLCC, like in the basement. So we kind of worked our way through the, you know, the lower levels of the mall. And interestingly enough, as I was walking through there, the security came up to me and questioned me about the camera, and they wanted to make sure that I wasn't recording inside the mall. I guess it's a rule that you're not allowed to. But we've reached the outside of the mall. We're about to step out into the real world, and Jamie has it figured out which way.
Let's just try these steps.
Pick one way, and yeah. A little bit of rain still, not a rain, just sprinkling.
Got the bus stop and the train station here. Oh, that's a green line.
Yeah, green line. Go KL. Oh yeah, so we I guess we're on one side of the Petronas towers up there. Yeah. As a few people have pointed out, some YouTubers that have passed through recently, you come to see the Petronas towers, but then you notice how many other skyscrapers are all the way around it, you know, including this one. Always makes a big impression on people, all the green, as if, you know, some sort of an eco project. In terms of the architecture, sky bridge connecting the two together. I have to admit, I did not wake up this morning expecting to be at the Petronas Towers, you know, taking video of the Petronas Towers. But here we are. I always end up joking about the GoKL buses, the free ones, because they're all color coded, the red line, the purple line, and yet they're all green. You know, it's like there's the red line. Like what? How? What? It's green. No, the sign says red. Oh. Seems like an obvious opportunity to paint the bus red.
Yeah. You know? It would make sense.
Yeah, there's another, the GoKL, and this is the green line. So it actually matches. The green line is actually green. City tour, hop on, hop off. And Petronas Towers, dominating everything around us. Yeah. But when you think about where we were, that kind of makes sense, the security, because we were basically directly underneath those towers.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would have to have very high levels of security, you know. But they are impressive. They are an impressive sight, no question about that. Yeah, look at that. Towers right up in the fog. A lot of people here taking pictures of the towers. Very popular spot. Look at that. And I remember from my previous visits, it was such a growth industry selling wide-angle adapters for smartphones. There are always like a half dozen guys here selling, you know, wide-angle adapters for smartphones. I saw a couple of them today, but none of them have approached me. Yeah. It's nice having Jamie guide the way. I haven't had to look at Google Maps once. I just follow him. Can't help it. Every time you have a new angle, you have to stop and look back. Another perspective on the towers. And all of the surrounding skyscrapers. Even over here on this direction. Oh. What do you think?
As far as towers go, they are beautiful.
And as far as construction goes, I think they have an interesting history that the two companies, one Korean, one Japanese, I think. I think the tower on the right was built by a Korean company, and the tower on the left, I think, was built by a Japanese company. Look at that. Pretty amazing. The NZ Curry House, and here at the end of the road is Pintasan Saloma, so the Saloma Bridge, I guess. Somehow in my head I was thinking of it as a long walk at the beginning, but it's not really that far. So we're at the KLCC side of the bridge, and there's a cemetery here. Do you want to pop inside since we're here? And Jamie was thinking that the singer, Saloma, oh, there's the bridge right ahead of us. You can see that unique arch shape. And he was saying that he believes her gravesite is here inside the cemetery. She was buried here, and that's probably why they named the bridge after her. Yeah, it's quite an interesting cemetery. I don't know if I've ever seen one quite like this, with how each site has a cluster of very nicely manicured plants and trees and bushes on top of each one. Gives it a very unique look. Yeah, very nice. But all the writing can't read it, so I don't know, can't tell who these people are or what years they date from in terms of their lives. It's a lot larger than I anticipated. Oh, there's Jamie. He saw someone coming in, like a group with someone explaining things about the cemetery. And yeah, he would definitely go and find out what the guy is saying to learn about the place. He's a good guy to hang out with. He ends up doing stuff like that, and I learn a lot of things I wouldn't have learned otherwise. Man, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Stretches off in that direction for quite a ways. And beautifully landscaped all the way to the end, it looks like. Yeah, and over here, you can actually get very close to the bridge walking along the pathway here. Yeah, Bill and Jamie were saying that during the day, I mean, it's a very special bridge in terms of its design and architecture, as you can see. But the true nature of it only comes out at night when you get all the lights and the bright colors. During the day, like now, it's largely gray with a little bit of blue in the windows. It's interesting in terms of the neighborhoods it's connecting, because it's connecting Kampong Bharu, which holds a very special place in Kuala Lumpur, as a very traditional, people describe it as almost a village in the middle of the big city, and it connects Kampong Bharu with what you see over here, right on the other side of the highway and the river. We got KLCC and Petronas towers and all the skyscrapers, so modern urban landscape over there, and then a more traditional laid-back life going on right across the highway, connected by this bridge. And Jamie and I were just talking about the orientation of all of the graves. They're all pointing in the same direction, more or less. And of course, I don't know this for sure, but I mean, it makes sense that they're all placed this way to be pointing towards Mecca. And I was mentioning to Jamie that just this morning I was looking around my hotel room. I was lying on my bed there doing some video editing, looking up at the ceiling, and then I saw the arrow up on the ceiling, which points you towards Mecca, so that if you're doing your prayers inside the room, you know which way Mecca is, even from inside your hotel room. And that's a very common thing in this part of the world. If you look around inside your hotel room, you'll see an arrow somewhere, and you might think it's pointing towards the fire exit or something like that, but more often than not, it's actually pointing towards Mecca for prayers. And Jamie was speaking with someone here who knows a bit about the cemetery, and they said that yes, they believe Saloma is buried here, but they didn't know which gravesite was hers. And her name would probably not be in English anyway, so it would be very hard to track it down. Yeah, what a perspective on all these buildings. That's incredible. Left the cemetery, just starting to walk up onto the bridge. See Petronas towers and all the skyscrapers behind me. An impressive structure. I like this a lot. I like anything that lets a pedestrian get across a highway and a river. I'm all about that. So you can see why they built this bridge. You got to get across this major highway system and a river. Reminds me of the big bicycle bridge I saw in Penang. Had a big circular on-ramp, It looked like it was built, it was so huge, it was like it was built for cars, but it was really just for bicycles.
I have seen videos of this at night, and it is quite striking.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. the sign. You got to zero in on the sign. Saloma. Opened in 2020. The longest single-span steel structure elevated walkway in Malaysia. Okay, it's based on a symbol for unity among the Malays. So it's 370 meters long, and it has 4,100 diamond facade panels equipped with state-of-the-art lighting. So yeah, this is definitely where you want to come at night. But I guess you can come during the day and come at night. But we don't see any of the lighting right now, but I guess there are 4,100 of these diamonds, and each one has some kind of a light built into it. And here's the far end of the bridge, just exiting this side. And now we're in Kampong Bharu, and as I said, it's got a much more of a traditional feeling, and people talk about that as a little piece of traditional Malaysian village life that still exists right in the heart of KL. And you can kind of see that here, you know, just some simple houses, though I understand that these houses are very, very valuable. Very expensive real estate in here, and that makes sense considering where it is. You know, you're not out in the countryside, you're right in the heart of one of the world's major cities. Look at that. There's a beautiful sight. I guess you come here at night, you'll see a lot of photographers setting up their cameras and get pictures of the light show with all the skyscrapers in the background. Yeah, all the way around, even in this direction, looking towards the KL Tower. And Jamie had a clever idea that you could go to KLCC to see the light show at night, and then once you're there, it would be a very short walk to come here. So you can take in the light show there at night and then come here and see this place all lit up at night. That'd be a nice combination. Wow, yeah, okay. I visited Kampong Bharu in the past, and it felt kind of like a normal city to me. I never really got this idea that it was like a village in the middle of the city. I mean, there's no rice farming or anything like that going on here. But when you get up above it, like where we are now, got a view from up above, and then, yeah, you can sort of see how it is different from the rest of KL. It really does feel like a small town, like not really a farming village, but a small town in the middle of a big city. And looking down on top of all the houses and parks there, but surrounded on all sides by this. Pretty amazing. I'm looking back towards the Saloma Bridge. Well, there's a lot going on here. We're not getting the tranquil village we thought. These are ultra whack machines. Apparently sucking out the sewage lines or the water drainage. On my occasional trips down here to Kampong Bharu, I've often had this reaction where I think I'm going to a tranquil village, but it ends up pretty busy down here. And it seems to have been under construction forever. When Bill Price was here on his video, he commented on all the sidewalk construction going on both sides, and that caused a lot of congestion. And I don't know, when I was here before, I had the same feeling. It felt very crowded, a lot of traffic. And yeah, I mean, I wandered around and had some food, had nasi lemak somewhere, a bunch of snacks. But even when I was here before, I never ran into these these whack machines sucking out all the debris from the water drainage system. That was a lot of noise walking through there. Sort of exiting the main drag of Kampong Bharu. And Jamie and I were both commenting that, yeah, the place is largely closed. It's 11:30 in the morning. We thought places would be open, but everything is closed. So I was telling him it could be the Planet Doug effect. That everywhere I go, the day I go seems to be the day that it's closed. But here's the main gate into the main drag. Heading into Kampong Bharu. And one thing I noticed when we entered, and now that we're leaving the area, is they have bicycle places here where you can lock up a bike. That's really nice. Oh, we've got a mama cat coming to say hi. Hello, kitty. Probably wants food more than pets, but well, she's pretty happy with some pets too. Hey, kitty. And to end today's small adventures with starting off with Bill and Jamie and ending them with just Jamie, early lunch. Jamie knows about this place, like a mixed rice buffet kind of place, and they're open. So perfect for me. You grab your plate, get some rice, and then you just move along and pick what you want. Oh, okay, eggplant. Definitely eggplant in my future. A lot of meat and fish dishes there. Oh, got some eggs there. So I think I can put together a half-decent meal for me. And he tells me they have unlimited self-service ice water. Once you grab a table, then you go over there, get your own ice water. I don't know if I made any kind of a great selection. I just grabbed things at random. But here's our lunches. I've got my rice. Eggplant is a star. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. And then Jamie has a very nice selection of veggies going on over there. He piled it up. And then I'm about to go get my air couscous. So I'm busy enjoying my lunch. Turns out that this is a jackfruit. And someone up there was warning me that this egg was very, very spicy. And it turned out they were right. It's very, very spicy. Eggplant is really good. This thing, I don't know what it was, but it was fine. And the rice is fine. Yeah, I've got a real tiger cat down here right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Hello there. Not the healthiest cat in the world, but oh, look who's come up to say hello. Hello, kitty. This fellow needs a bath, though. He needs a bit. Yeah, needs a bath. That is lunch done. Yeah, it was not a bad lunch at all. Mixed rice. Not sure I made the best selections out of, everything that was there, but I still enjoyed it. The eggplant was the standout dish. And one of the other dishes, I wasn't sure what it was, to be honest, but chatting with Jamie, I think we decided that it was a jackfruit. And that makes sense. It kind of had a jackfruit flavor to it. And yeah, that was really good. I don't know how the guy knew, the guy who was warning me that the egg would be salty, or how an egg could possibly be that salty, but he was right. That egg was unbelievably salty. I wouldn't want to have too much of that kind of egg. Cost 11 ringgit in total for my lunch. Now Jamie has headed off on one of his longer walks, So he's walking all the way back to where he's staying in Pudu. And I thought about going with him part of the way, and I could walk back to Chinatown. But the route seemed to involve a lot more highways than I wanted to walk along. So instead of that, I'm walking back through Kampong Bharu, and I'm going to go to the MRT station. And I can just hop on the MRT station and head from there to Masjid Jamek. And then at least I can walk through these quiet streets instead of alongside the busy highway, because you still have to get over that river and over that huge highway that follows the river. And I don't know how easy that is for a pedestrian to do, which is why they built the Saloma Bridge to begin with, to give pedestrians a way to cross. And the MRT station, the Kampong Bharu station, is very near the Saloma Bridge. So I'm working my way back towards it right now. And from here, the river is right there. The river and the highway is just on the other side. And you know that because all those huge buildings are on the other side of the river. You know, Petronas Towers over there, that's where we came from. Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice in here once you get down into the small streets of Kampong Bharu. Very residential. It does feel, like I said, you don't feel like you're in a village, but you do feel like you're in a small town, put it that way, as opposed to the big city. And I always find this side very interesting, the wall, because right on the other side of that wall, of course, is the highway. And they built that wall as a sound barrier to keep the noise out of Kampong Bharu. Very effective. I can't hear the traffic at all, which is nice. But it definitely has that Game of Thrones wall feeling, you know, this massive barrier cutting through the city alongside the river. And unless I'm mistaken, I'm arriving right at the MRT station. There's the bridge, the pedestrian bridge that we crossed to get over here, very near the LRT station. And right here, with that as my backdrop, Petronas Towers, towering above all. I think I'll wind up this video and my morning's small adventures right here. Yeah, I had a really good morning. That was great. Meeting up with Bill, the international big shot, and Jamie for coffee. Really enjoyed that. Got to chat about all kinds of interesting things. And then I thought that was going to be my whole morning, to be honest. And then Jamie suggested this detour down to Kampong Bharu, and I enjoyed that a lot. Really interesting to see that bridge now that it's completed. Yeah, very useful and beautiful addition to KL. And with that, I'm going to shut things down here. And as always, I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next video. I got to step out of the way of the taxi.